Hey, Earl here. $87,000. That's the median retirement savings for an American worker. Not the average, the median. Half the country has less than that sitting in their retirement account right now. If you've got 87 grand saved up and you're feeling like that's not enough, you're not alone. You're right in the middle of the pack. And if you've got more than that, good for you. But stick around, because what I'm about to show you applies to you too. I used to think retirement savings was like a high score in a video game. Bigger number means you're winning. Smaller number means you stink. I had a buddy at the Crab Shack who checked his 401k every morning like it was a lottery ticket. One bad week in the market and he'd be in a mood so foul you'd think somebody keyed his truck. Let me hit you with the raw number first, because you deserve to see what the internet sees when it tells you to panic. The 4% rule says you can pull 4% of your savings per year in retirement. 4% of $87,000 is $3,480 a year. That's $290 a month. That won't cover your electric bill and your phone in most states. Sounds terrifying, right? Good. Now forget it, because that number by itself is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Now here's the part that keeps people up at night. Every retirement calculator on the internet is going to tell you that 87,000 is a disaster. Plug it in, hit enter, and watch the screen laugh at you. Red bars, warning icons. Those calculators are designed to make you panic, because panicked people buy financial products. That's not math, that's marketing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. 87,000 by itself is not going to carry you through 30 years of retirement. But here's the thing. Your savings account is not your whole retirement plan. It never was. And judging your future by that one number is like judging a football team by the kicker. He matters, but he ain't the whole squad. So today, I'm going to walk you through what 87,000 actually looks like in retirement when you factor in everything the calculators leave out. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where you stand and exactly what to do next. Let's start with the piece everybody forgets: Social Security. If you've worked a normal job and paid into the system most of your adult life, you've got a benefit coming that most retirement content pretends doesn't exist. The average Social Security check right now is around $1,900 a month. For a married couple, both collecting, that's over $3,800 combined. Almost $46,000 a year before you touch a single dollar of your savings. Now I know what you're thinking. Earl, Social Security ain't gonna be there when I retire. I hear that every week. But even the Social Security Administration's own worst case projection says benefits would drop to about 77% of what's promised if Congress does nothing. So instead of $1,900 a month, you'd get around $1,460. That ain't great, but it ain't zero either. And Congress has fixed this before. They'll probably fix it again, because old people vote and nobody wins an election by cutting grandma's check. For this video, let's be conservative and use $1,400 a month, $16,800 a year. If you're married and both collecting, call it $33,600. That's money coming in every month your savings don't have to cover. Next up is something even the good financial channels gloss over: housing. If you own your home and you've paid off the mortgage by retirement, your biggest monthly expense just vanished. The average mortgage payment in this country is over $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year you don't need. Property taxes and maintenance still cost something. But the difference between having a mortgage and not having one is the difference between needing $1 million and a whole lot less. We talked about the freedom formula in a previous video. Your annual spending times 25 to 30 equals your number. But what matters is your spending after you subtract Social Security and after you subtract the mortgage. That changes the math completely. Let me show you what this looks like for a real person. Say we got a guy named Pete, 57, been working as a machinist his whole career. Never made huge money, but he showed up every day, and he didn't blow it all at the casino. He's got $87,000 in his 401k, and his house is almost paid off. His wife Lorraine worked part-time at a pediatric office for years, and has about $30,000 in a Roth IRA. Together, they've got $117,000 in retirement savings and a paid-off house. No Lamborghini in the driveway. Just two people who kept their heads down and didn't get fancy. Their total spending right now is about $44,000 a year. In retirement, the commute costs disappear, the work clothes budget disappears, and the payroll taxes stop. Realistic retirement spending is closer to $38,000. Here's where it gets interesting. Pete's Social Security at 67 is around $2,100 a month. Lorraine's is about $900 based on her work history. Combined, that's $36,000 a year. Their retirement spending is $38,000. The gap between what Social Security covers and what they need is only $2,000 a year. $2,000 a year from $117,000 in savings. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that portfolio supports $4,600 a year. They've got more than double the coverage they need for the gap. Pete and Lorraine aren't rich. They're regular people. But when you stack the whole picture together, they're actually in decent shape. Now, here's where it gets wild. That same $87,000 lives a completely different life, dependent on your zip code. Where you park your recliner matters almost as much as what's in your account. Take somebody like Nadine. Same savings as Pete, similar Social Security, but she's renting a one-bedroom in northern New Jersey because that's where her kids are. Between rent at $1,600 a month, utilities, groceries at Jersey prices, and transit costs, she's burning through $48,000 a year. Social Security covers maybe $20,000. That leaves a $28,000 gap, and her $87,000 covers less than 4 years of it. Nadine's in trouble, and it's not because she did anything wrong. It's geography. Now picture Hank. Same money, same Social Security, but he moved to a paid-off house in Bowling Green, Kentucky, after his plant closed. Property taxes run about $1,400 a year. Groceries cost 30% less than Jersey. No rent. His annual spending is $26,000, and Social Security covers almost all of it. His $87,000 could last him decades. Same savings, same work history, but completely different retirement. I'm not saying you gotta pack up and leave your grandkids, but if you're sitting on $87,000 and paying $2,000 a month in rent, you need to understand what that rent is really costing you. It has not just 12 months of checks, it's years of your retirement disappearing into a landlord's pocket. Now hold on, I can hear some of you saying, Earl, that's a best case scenario. What about healthcare? What about inflation? What about the fact that my car is held together with duct tape and prayers? Fair. Let's talk about what could go wrong, because ignoring the risks is how people end up back at work at 72 wearing a vest they didn't choose. Healthcare is the big one for early retirees. If you're leaving work before 65, you don't have Medicare yet, and buying insurance on your own can cost a fortune. But here's something most people don't know. If your income in early retirement is low, and it usually is when you're living off savings, you qualify for serious ACA subsidies. We covered this in the Lean Fire video. Someone pulling $35,000 a year might pay less than $100 a month for solid coverage. Don't skip this step. It's a plannable problem, not an unsolvable one. Inflation is the slow leak that worries people the most, and it should. $1 today won't buy $1's worth of groceries in 20 years. But here's the thing. Social Security has a built-in inflation adjustment. It goes up every year with the cost of living. Your savings need to handle inflation on the gap, not on the whole budget. If your gap is small, inflation on that gap is small too. And then there's the factor that splits the same $87,000 into two completely different futures. Debt. This is the one that nobody wants to talk about at Christmas. Take two people, same age, same savings, same Social Security. Connie owns her house free and clear, drives a 10-year-old Camry that's paid off and owes nobody a dime. Her monthly expenses run about $2,200. Social Security covers most of it. Her gap is small, and her $87,000 is a cushion thick enough to sleep on. Then there's Ray. He still owes $110,000 on his mortgage at $1,100 a month. He's got a truck payment at $450, and a credit card he's been paying minimums on for years. His monthly nut is $4,200 before he buys a single grocery. Social Security doesn't come close. He's pulling from that $87,000 every month, and at that rate, the money runs out in about 4 years. Same number in the account. One person is comfortable. The other one is watching a countdown clock. If you're carrying debt into retirement, every dollar of that payment is a dollar your savings has to cover. Paying off the house before you quit working isn't just a feel-good move. It's the single biggest thing you can do to make $87,000 stretch. It turns a scary number into a workable one. All right, quick pause. If any of this is landing different than what you expected, hit that like button. It helps other working people find this channel, and it costs you nothing but a thumb tap. Now, let's flip this around. What if you're not Pete and Lorraine? What if you're 42 with $87,000 saved and retirement still feels like a fantasy? Here's the good news. You've got time, and time is the most powerful thing in this whole equation. I spent years thinking I'd missed my window. Turns out the window is a lot bigger than the gurus want you to believe. At 7% annual returns, 87,000 doubles roughly every 10 years. Leave it alone for 20 years, and it grows to about 350,000 without adding another dime. That's the Coast Fire concept we broke down a few videos back. Your money does the work while you live your life. And if you can add even $200 a month on top of that, now you're looking at close to 500,000 by the time you hit 62. Stack Social Security on top, and suddenly you've got a plan. And if you're even younger, say 35 with 87 grand already saved, that money has 30 years to work for you. And at 7%, it grows to over 660,000 on its own. Add a barista fire strategy, or a few $100 a month, and you could be walking away from full-time work in your late 40s. We covered exactly how that works in the Barista Fire episode. The worst thing 87,000 can do is sit there, making you feel like a failure. It's not a failure, it's a foundation. Most Americans have less. You're ahead of the middle, and you're watching this video, which means you're thinking about it. That puts you ahead of almost everybody. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pull up your Social Security estimate at ssa.gov. Find out what your projected benefit is. Then write down what you actually spend in a month. Subtract the Social Security number. Whatever's left is your real gap, the only number your savings need to cover. Multiply that annual gap by 25. That's your actual target. I promise you. That number is way smaller than what any retirement calculator told you, and it might be small enough to change how you feel about Monday morning. If you did that math, type reality and your gap number in the comments below. Whatever it is, 4,000, 12,000, 0. Write it down and own it. And if you see somebody else's number down there, give them a thumbs up. We're all figuring this out together. Subscribe if you want more straight talk about retiring early on a normal paycheck. No trust funds, no crypto miracles, just real math for real people. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.